Hi folks, I'm in the amazing botanic garden of Heidelberg with its wonderful and world-renowned collections of rare plants. And this is a coffee shrub, Coffea arabica, the most cultivated species of coffee, responsible for about 60% of the world coffee market. Here next to it is Coffea canephora, the coffee species that produces the Robusta coffee, responsible for pretty much all of the remaining 40% of the world coffee market. By the way, coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world after mineral oil. So this stuff has a bigger market volume on the international market than stuff like gold, diamonds, wheat, natural gas, iron, copper. They are all less important than the coffee. I guess, yeah, billions of people really want their morning coffee and will do anything to get it. So, here we have Coffea arabica and Coffea robusta. Coffea robusta, Coffea canephora var robusta, as the name suggests, is the more robust one. You can grow it in a lot of different tropical lowland and highland climates. It has a higher yield per hectare than Coffea arabica. It is, well, Coffea arabica needs a lot more care and a lot more pesticides to survive. And also it has less caffeine than Coffea robusta, so to get the same energy boost you need more Coffea arabica than Coffea robusta. So why is still Coffea arabica responsible for 60% of the world coffee market and Coffea robusta only for 40%? Well, Coffea arabica is supposed to have the milder and richer flavor, while Coffea robusta is more bitter, has a more strong taste and flavor. It is used mostly for, either for cheap coffee or for stuff like espresso and ristretto, where you need a lot of bitterness and a lot of caffeine. But Coffea arabica, how is it being used? Originally, when coffee was discovered, oh god, there's some lice on this fruit. By the way, folks, when you come to the Botanic Garden of Heidelberg, don't pick the fruit. I have a special permit, but it doesn't mean that everyone here is supposed to pick any fruit they see. Well, originally people would eat the coffee cherries. Let's do this after removing the lice. This tastes considerably better than the cherry of Coffea robusta. Coffea robusta tasted sweet, at the same time like bell peppers, and at the same time like really low quality bell peppers. Sometimes in low quality or badly watered bell peppers there is a disgusting taste. This here tastes less sweet. Also tastes a little bit like bell peppers, but especially in the first moment I got a whiff of pretty good coffee flavor, even in the raw coffee cherry. Yeah, first people would eat the coffee cherries. Later, when the fruit was out of season, they would make tea from the leaves. Later, they would go to the trash pits and take out the pits of the cherries and suck on them. The most desperate ones, they would even go to their fireplaces and dig out the burnt and charred cherry pits they spat into the fire. And they found out even those burnt and charred cherry pits, they give you an energy boost. And they don't taste that bad. So finally people got addicted to those burnt cherry pits, cherry seeds, cherry kernels, started grinding them up in mortars and, flushing them with hot water and drinking the hot blackish brownish water. Well, coffee is internationally traded not in this charred state, but basically you take those coffee cherry pits, you dry them, and that's how you trade them. Why do you do this? Why don't you roast them immediately? As soon as you roast them, the typical coffee flavor develops, and then it starts dissipating into the air. So if you would roast them somewhere in Borneo or in Central Africa or in Brazil, by the time they arrive in Europe, by the time they are being sold in the supermarket, and by the time you drink them, most of the flavor will be gone. So, the second most traded commodity in the world, when it's being traded internationally, it almost always looks like those unroasted cherry pits. Usually a little bit less shiny because they are dry, of course. Yeah. And then, well, the best coffee shops, they would still buy those raw coffee pits, roast them on the place, grind them up on the place, and make you the best and most flavorful coffee ever. So folks, this was Coffea arabica, the shrub where your morning coffee usually comes from, except if you are Italian and like really strong espresso or ristretto, then it would most probably come from this Coffea canephora var robusta. Stay tuned for more. By the way, Coffea arabica has the name arabica because it comes from the Arabian Peninsula, while Coffea robusta comes from the adjoining areas of Africa, like Ethiopia and the areas west of it. So this was the plant where your morning coffee comes from. Stay tuned for more fruit videos from the Botanic Garden of Heidelberg. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.